So let's go through this together. And I think the best way to deal with stuff like this is to live in denial and to act like half of it is just not even happening. Good? And then we'll bring it back when we're ready for it. But what I mean by that is we are going to deal with this part first. And for a little while, we're just going to ignore the other stuff and pretend it's not even there. If I gave you a question that just looks like this, would you all know how to deal with just this part? And it wouldn't be so bad? Okay, so do you see if we can take that little piece by piece approach, then the whole thing doesn't feel so overwhelming. So this is a good strategy in school. Not just for math, but for, you know what, this is a good strategy for life too. When it feels overwhelming and there's tons of stuff going on, just take a little chunk, work on that, and then bring back the other stuff when you're ready for it. So let's deal with just the part in the brackets first. First of all, if I just look at this part, can you tell me if the answer is going to be positive or negative? Everybody agree that it's going to be negative? Okay, so to deal with that, to make life easier for myself, I'm going to move the negative out front because I know overall the answer is going to be negative. Then I'm just going to deal with 2 to the 5 over 2 to the 2. Does everybody see what I'm doing there? So it's like I just took that negative and moved it out front. Then I have 2 to the 5 over 2 to the 2. And then I still have the other stuff outside. But what is 2 to the 5 over 2 to the 2? What does that simplify to? 2 to the 3. So can I just erase that and say I have negative 2 to the 3? Everybody okay with that so far? And what do I do if I want to get rid of the brackets? Is the negative in the brackets also to the exponent of 3 out here? So is this applied to this as well? Yeah, because it's in the bracket. So would the answer be positive or negative? Oh boy. It'd be negative, so I can still put a negative there. The base is still 2. What do I do to deal with the two exponents? We multiply them, right? When you have an exponent inside the brackets and another one outside, that means we're multiplying. It's the power rule. So I took this big, ugly looking part of the question and we shrunk it down just to negative 2 to the 9. So far we're good? Okay, now let's bring back, you know how we were living in denial? We're going to bring back part of the stuff we were denying. Good? So it's okay if we do that as long as we go through it step by step and bring it back when we're ready. So let's take a similar approach. If I have just this, this should also be to the power of 3 outside. Guys, the rule was that you're not talking while I am. Good? Inside the brackets here, you know how I have a negative 2 to the power of 4? Would my answer be positive or negative? It would be positive. Everybody agree with that? So in brackets here, I'd have 2 to the 4 over 2 to the 3. Can you tell me what I would get there? 2 to the 1, and then the whole thing is to the power of 3. So I'd get negative 2 to the power of, what happens with those exponents? Yeah, it's going to be to the power of 3. Everybody good with that? Isn't this looking way easier than the stuff we started with? And the stuff we started with looked overwhelming, didn't it? Okay, so we're done with that one as well. And now we'll bring back the other part that we were denying or just ignoring. And that is this last one here. So similar approach, if I look at this inside here, is my answer just for this top part going to be positive or negative? It's going to be negative, so I'm going to move that out front. And then I would have 2 to the 3 over 2 to the 1. So what do I end up getting? 2 to the 2. Do we get how we ended up with that? We did this 3 minus this 1 here. So we get 2 to the 2. Good? Okay, so then if I want to deal with that, I'd have negative 2 to the power of, what do I do with the exponents? Multiply them. So we'd have negative 2 to the 6. So far, so good? Okay, so I would not expect you to know negative 2 to the power of 9 here. We could use our calculator to figure that out because that's a really large one. Or you could leave it like that, but if we punch it in, we would get negative 512. Minus, can you tell me what 2 to the 3 is? That's a reasonable one. Minus 8. And here, do you see that I'm going to have a minus sign there? Because adding a negative is still a minus. And what is 2 to the 6? Is that reasonable to figure out? I think so. What is it? 64. When we combine all of those and get the answer, we get negative 584 as our answer.